Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Earth Prime Arrowverse canon comic crossover. Issue number 2, which is Superman and Lois, part of the crossover. If you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button below, subscribe if you're new, notifications on, and we're going to get right into the review. So, it opened up with Clark and Lois celebrating their wedding anniversary, talking with John and Jordan on how they don't actually celebrate their wedding anniversary till 4 days after. Now, this set up pretty much the comic itself, where we go back to a flashback a year after Clark and Lois got married. It was their first wedding anniversary, obviously. Clark and Lois go to work and plan their date for their anniversary, like you do on a wedding anniversary. And Clark got busy being Superman, saving the world, stopping a giant robot in Tokyo, and stood Lois up. Obviously, he didn't have a choice in the matter. Lois understood that, and then he decided the second day after their anniversary, 2 days into their anniversary, Lois understood why Clark missed the dinner, and they tried to plan another date night for their anniversary that night. This is the day after their anniversary. However, Lois got busy fixing a print machine at her work, which meant Clark got stood up, and so did Lois. It was the exact opposite. It goes to the next day. Now it's been 2 total days after their actual wedding anniversary, and Clark got caught up again, being Superman, saving the world, fighting someone. I no idea who it was, but had a cape on that, and stood Lois up again. And again, Lois understood. Clark apologized to her. She understood. The world needs Superman. You know, he can't really do anything about it. Then it goes to 3 days after the wedding anniversary. Clark found something in the device or car thing that Lois took out of the printer that was jamming it at the Daily Planet, almost a Daily Bugle. That's Marvel. Why is Marvel and DC so alike? We had the Daily Planet, Daily Bugle. Just name one. Just name it different. I don't care. Just it ain't hard. Come up with a different name, Marvel or DC. I don't care which one. Just come up with a different name. Anyways, Clark was looking at the toy car, which was what it was, and it opened up, and there was a light shining out that said Crank Co. or Crank Company with a K, and Lois kept digging into it. However, it made her late for the dinner again, but she found the story to some warehouse, and there were guys there making weapons. She found out the guy was Toyman, or at least one of the guys there, and he was making weapons that will make them untouchable in Metropolis, meaning Superman more than likely will have a lot of trouble stopping them. So again, as I said, Lois stood Clark up because of work. So now it's been 4 days after the wedding anniversary, which is when, like I just said in the video, or the review at least, this is when Clark and Lois celebrate their anniversary, because this is how they've been doing it for years and years and years, because of their first wedding anniversary, how it went. And then we learned that the guy they were taking down was Toyman. He did get taken down. Clark wants to cancel the reservation for the date for their anniversary till things start to calm down for them, because it seems like everything's just going haywire. The world needs Superman. Lois is a reporter. She has work to do, and it's just not the best time. But Lois is hell-bent and celebrating their anniversary that night, the 4th day after their wedding anniversary. Lois canceled all her meetings for the afternoon. She still has some work to do, but it won't be like a lot of work to do. And Clark promises to keep the Supermaning to local places, which didn't really work out well. Clark saved people from a burning building, I'm assuming in Metropolis, and Lobo, which is the first ever Arrowverse appearance ever in this comic, has a kryptonite chain that's wrapped around his fist, and catch Superman and attach it to his flying bike or whatever, and fly Superman into outer space. Then we go back to Lois working the story and get a call about a story, and hurries to get the peace and all that. And then we go back to Lobo and Superman. Lobo brought Superman to the edge of the solar system and has him tied up in the kryptonite chain that he used to, I guess, knock him out, to bring him out there. Lobo said I'm quoting this, redhead paid him a lot of money to bring Superman to her. Now, you can speculate who it was. We don't know who it was. I'm not going to speculate on it because I don't know much. But that's the point we're at right now with Superman and Lobo. So Superman broke free and escaped. And then we go back to Lois and is working the story. The politician that she's been looking into is planning to overrun the city, which is obviously a big thing. It's a politician. I think he was running for governor or something. So if he wins, we're dealing with major corruption in Metropolis. Clark and Lois rush to the reservation. Clark comes flying in. Lois wasn't that far away, so she ran over. And they get there, and the place is closed. And then Lois mentions how she doesn't want to go to Hawaii. And Clark said there's a dinner place open in Hawaii, so they fly there. Clark flies Lois to Hawaii, and they have their anniversary there. Now, this is the second arc of the comic. I would say there's like 2, maybe 3 arcs of this comic. This is the second arc, so remember that. This is key later in the review, which I might put timestamps on. I don't know yet. We'll see. Then, the second arc of the comic, it goes to a further flashback with Clark's dad and Clark being a kid at this point, really young, walking to Smallville, and another child was on the bike, was about to get hit by a bus, and Clark saved him using his super speeder flying. It was kind of like in between both. You kind of see his legs off the ground. Whether or not that was a running animation, you could argue it was one or the other. He mentions his father always read a newspaper, and his favorite movies were on a newspaper, or so Clark assumed. In fact, it was about his favorite movie, was about a determined reporter on a crusade, which obviously like Clark to being a reporter. These reporters were determined to expose the truth about everything. Then it goes to a flashback in post Superman, like when Superman's like in the suit that his mom made for him, like we saw in the pilot, and like we've seen a couple other times throughout the show. We even saw it earlier in this comics I mentioned earlier. Lobo had a picture. I don't think I mentioned earlier. That's my bad if I didn't. But Lobo had a picture of Superman in his old suit, because he ran as Superman before, but they never actually fought before till this comic. But Lobo has known about Superman long before. So Clark is questioning what his father would think of what he's doing now as Superman, because he's not sure his father would be proud. And then we see that Clark got his first ever solo byline. You don't know what that is. It's like he just got his first article. He made the article. It's on the newspaper, which is a big thing for news reporters or just reporters in general. That's a big thing. So Clark's really happy about it. And this flashback took place on Father's Day. So this is why it was about his father. Then it goes back even further to Clark's past, back around the time of Clark being a kid. And this is taking place in the springtime, and Clark's mom and dad are setting a blaze to crops left over the previous weather season, like the winter, or the summer, sorry. And then they're in the springtime now, which, I mean, the upcoming season will be winter, so, you know. Yeah, right? Did I say that right? I probably didn't. That's not right. Well, why am I mixing up the seasons? It's winter, spring, summer, whatever, right? Or is it... No, we're in spring now. So yeah, summer and then fall, right? I'm not an idiot. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not an idiot. Spring's now. Yeah, okay. So it went winter, spring, summer, fall. So, you know, they need to get rid of the crops that then survive the winter, which makes sense now that I know, now that I'm not an idiot. So... Clark was wondering why they were sending the crops ablaze, and Clark's dad mentioned that it's a controlled fire That'll be important in a couple minutes, so remember that. Controlled fire. It's a key 2 words right there. And I'm probably going to forget to mention it because I didn't write down my notes. But, controlled fire. It'll be important in a little bit. But anyways, that was the last spring Clark enjoyed his family. And then it goes to a 4th of July event. And it turns from a celebration to a massive tragedy. And at this point, we should be realizing that this isn't our Clark. This is not Clark's history, or the Clark that we know. This is another Clark Kent, another Superman that something happened on July 4th that caused Superman to go down a darker road. And we're going to talk about that right now. There was a car crash, and the crash killed Clark's dad. Now again, if you can't tell, this is not our Superman's history. This is another Clark Kent. Our Superman's history, we already know, thanks to the pilot Superman and Lois, our Superman's dad died by a heart attack in Smallville. This happened on July 4th at night, and it was not by a heart attack, it was by a car crash with Clark and his parents in it. Both his parents died in that car crash, and Clark was put into the adoption center and was put into a toxic and abusive family. The father was abusive as hell, nonstop hurting those boys, but obviously Clark isn't a regular kid. He's a alien, he's a super being. So, super being, we're gonna go with it, superhuman, and so it didn't really affect Clark at all, at least physically. Mentally it did, because he's, he can't run away from that, but physically it didn't really, affect him in any way, which was good, because again, he's Superman, so why would it affect him in any possible bad way physically? Clark, didn't even realize what he was doing at the time, but he used his laser vision and murdered the abusive dad, straight up, burn him to ashes, and the mother kicked Clark out onto the street, and then he got arrested. Clark got arrested for murder, and they sent him to a Supermax. I'm assuming Supermax, because what else would hold him, or try to hold him? And people were trying to do experiments on Clark to figure out what the hell he is, because they've never seen it before. They put him in restraints. Now, if you don't know Superman, there ain't nothing holding him besides kryptonite, and they don't know that he's, that he's immune to that. So they don't have kryptonite at this point, so he's just in, random restraints that are made out of metal, which Clark definitely ain't saying in those, and of course he broke free from them, and there was a yellow crystal. So Clark flew to the fortress, which is not in the snow, like any other time in Superman's history it is. It's actually in the grasslands. The pure green grass in a mountain, which is kind of like Clark's, but the only difference is there's no snow, there's no ice. It is pure green around it. Clark met his actual father, Jor-El, which is the only similarity between these two Clarks, our Clark and this one. He trained Clark to be a weapon capable of saving people from themselves after all the loss and pain Clark's endured over the years. This was Jor-El's plan. Now, our Jor-El taught Clark to protect people, not use his powers to just abuse them and do whatever he wanted to do. He did it because he knew Clark could handle it and protect the world and protect these people, because he wanted to make it his home, and he did. This Clark is basically saying, screw everyone here, we're going to do whatever it means necessary to save everyone and make sure no one gets hurt. That's where we're going at. Even if it means excessive force, like killing or, whatever. So, then we learn the flashbacks since the second arc, which is why I said there's a second arc to the comic, have been about the evil Superman from John Irons' world. The world before Crisis, when John appeared on Earth Prime with Natalie, that world where Clark killed Lois and destroyed Metropolis in 7 minutes, which we knew that from the show. They mentioned that. But before this Clark turned, he was still in a black suit because he wasn't... I guess they're explaining it to the point where he was always kind of this evil superhero, but he was like an anti-hero. He didn't really... He saved lives, but he was a criminal. He wouldn't just be nice around them and, hold back. He wouldn't hold back. And so he was like an anti-hero in a way. But the people still adored him like we adore Superman because he's a hero. He saved countless lives by doing what he does. So people adored this evil Superman for the same reasons, even if his ways were a little bit, not so friendly. Then Kal-El confronted Superman, the evil Superman, and promised the resurrection to Krypton. Now this is the same plan he had with our Superman on Earth Prime back in season 1 to bring back Krypton, to bring back the people. The only thing Kal needs is humanity to be destroyed. Now remember, this is not our Clark. This is a completely different history. So Clark, having been through everything he's been through on this Earth, decides that he's going to follow Kal and destroys Metropolis in 7 minutes. This is what leads to it. Kal-El convinced Clark to turn and destroy Metropolis entirely. Then he goes to Coast City and destroys it. So he didn't just destroy Metropolis, he destroyed 2 whole cities literally within a couple of, probably an hour, honestly. God knows how much more damage he did after that. But then Irons, aka Steel, was the last stance against evil Clark, and Irons fled, which we knew from the show itself. Everything we've known about Irons from the show, this is the point we're at right now. But this is the part we don't know, and the part that we've never, ever seen before. The one question we've all been asking, where the hell is evil Superman at? Because did he die during that crisis wave, or what the hell happened to him? Well, now we know. Evil Superman was going to die by the crisis wave, which we know from another episode was Crisis that caused this. But then, that mysterious figure back in the first issue, which I did a full review over, by the way, go check it out, like 24 hours ago. The guy who took Clayface, aka the guy who's taking all these people, is the big bad of this crossover. Now, we don't know who the hell it is, but he recruited Evil Superman. He took him, saved him, and now he's going to get Evil Superman to work for him. So now this guy has Clayface and an evil version of Superman, which is like Bizarro. I mean, this thing is going to be as powerful as Clark. We have Clayface, which is going after Batwoman. So this guy is recruiting villains that are going to fight the heroes, obviously. I saw someone mention this in my last review. I think it was Maximum Arrowverse made a really good point in my Batwoman review over the first issue. It looks like we're going to be seeing a Justice League versus Injustice League or something along those lines. And it does really appear to be going that way. With Clayface focusing on Batwoman, evil Superman, obviously that thing is going to fight Superman. There's no way. And then we have Stargirl coming in, Legends coming in, which God knows how that one's going to go. And the Flash with Bart and XS. And you have to think with Bart and XS, maybe Godspeed will be coming in. I mean, because that's been the big bad for them all this time. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with these other villains that they're going to be fighting on some level. All these comics, these next 3 comics, part 3, 4, and 5, are all based on individual shows. Part 6 is going to be the big one, when all these heroes come together, all these villains that this guy is recruiting, the big bad this crossover, we have no idea who it is yet, is recruiting. We're going to see him and all these villains coming in, fighting the heroes. That's what we're going to see in part 6. Part 3, 4, and 5 are going to be continuing this lead up to this massive battle throughout the Flash, Legends, and Stargirl. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and opinions about the second part of the 6-part crossover, 6-issue, whatever you want to call it, crossover. I really did enjoy this comic. It was really good, a lot better than Batwoman's. Mainly because Superman's Lois's writers are just amazing. I think we all know that. So, I really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below your opinions. Subscribe if you're new, notifications on, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.